Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. So just to recap, because now I'm actually recording. You're right, Peter. We were just missing the end quote to that problem. So very good. Okay. So there it is. Okay. All right. So let's get started. All right. Like I said earlier, this is actually one of my favorite weeks. Top 3, top 4 maybe of the entire course. We get started on JavaScript, and this really starts a foundation of everything that we're going to be going through throughout the course. So it's a lot of fun. JavaScript is it's a ton of fun to play with. The learning curve isn't all that hard, and you can do a lot with it. It's really powerful. In fact, it's so powerful that they turned this client-side language into a server-side language. Does anybody know the name of this JavaScript on the server side? Anyone volunteer?
Node.js?
That's right, Node.js. I'm sorry, I don't know who that was, but yes, Node.js. Very good, yeah. This is gonna be horrible. I wish I could interact with you guys a little better. Maybe we'll have to be like, this is, and then say what the answer is. That might be best.
Okay, I'm Anjana.
Oh, Angela, thank you. Anjana. See, I practiced.
Yeah, that's not.
Yes, that's 100% correct. So when we get into Node.js, it's basically JavaScript. So the stuff we learned today is going to be used pretty much throughout the course. The stuff we learned on Saturday and the following Monday. This is all the real core JavaScript stuff. For those that have kind of a background in JavaScript at all, this is ES5. This was originally introduced probably 15 years ago. It has been updated since to ES6. And we will also get into ES6 stuff later. Not right now. So this first stuff that we're doing is all going to be ES5. Feel free, if you're familiar with JavaScript and you want to use some ES6 syntax, that's totally fine. But we're going to start with real basic, real simple ES5 stuff. So you guys ready to get started? Yes. I could just be talking to myself here. All right. All right, so let's see. So we do have the 2 parts of the homework. I don't know, Nate, if you want to add, if anything comes up that does anything come up that you want to add some clarification to? Maybe some people brought something to your attention.
Yeah. So just a heads up, if you need starter code for the second part of the assignment using media queries, I did post that onto GitLab. So, and I also posted that on the Slack. So if you didn't see that or need some direction finding that, just let me know.
Perfect. Yeah, so any questions, just feel free to reach out to Nate through Slack or myself, and I'll probably turn around and reach out to Nate. So, all right. Let's recap. Let's talk about Bootstrap real quick. We have a ton of stuff to get through today, so I want to make sure we have plenty of time. And I feel like we're all pros, but I just wanted to show you guys a grid. How many are across in a Bootstrap grid system? How many columns? Somebody? 12. That's right. Yes, 12 to 12. Always 12. So when I start a row, if it's inside another column, is it 12?
Yes.
Yes, Levi, yes. Very good. I recognize your voice, so it worked out. Yes, so yeah, that's right. So down below is kind of a good example. I just pulled this out quick just to kind of show, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1, 4, 8. Everything always adds up to 12. So something is not looking right, make sure you're counting out your columns. You could run through this again. How many rows are there here? Someone wants to, not including the header?
6.
6.
That's right, 6. How many columns? This could be tricky because now we're all bootstrapped.
8.
Yeah, I'd say eight columns. That's how I do this. So if I was going to do this and I had to build a gutter on both sides, how much columns would I put in on both sides? Anybody know?
Can you say that again?
So if I have 8 columns visible and I want to use a bootstrap grid, how many columns would I put on the gutter on the left and the right?
Each side?
How would you two on each side? I mean, if I was going to do it this way, I'd probably break this up a little differently. And as you guys probably would too, that were a little more familiar with it. I'd probably box it up a little differently. But you could very well create just 8 in the middle, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and I would organize it that way. So, yeah, I feel like that's kind of a dated slide because we've gone past just talking about columns and rows. I don't know if that makes sense. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff. Right, this is going to be a blast. I wish I could be there with you guys wish we could all be together. Let's say. Because this is a really fun one. So I'll recap a little bit of this on Saturday in case something gets lost in translation. But this is going to be a really important class to pay attention to. So do your best to kind of turn off any like distractions and that kind of stuff if you can. Okay, so today's class, JavaScript definitions, right? The basics, we're going to do variables today. We're going to do logging, alerting, prompting. We're going to even start getting into arrays, at least the basics of it. And then we're going to do some if-else statements. So we're doing the real basic JavaScript stuff. By the end of this class, you will know how to do every one of these with ease, I think. And then we'll kind of get into the more complicated stuff on Saturday. Then, of course, Monday will be kind of a summary, and then we'll get more into it. But this is the start. Variables, logging, alerting, prompting, arrays, if else. Cool. So I put in this in the middle. I think it's funny. But yeah, so CSS, HTML. So HTML is the structure, right? What's the content? What does it look like? What does it mean? That kind of thing. CSS is the actual what it looks like, what the colors are, you know, all the styles and stuff that we add to it. To make it look nice. JavaScript actually puts the action element to it. Like, what is this thing going to do, right? All the drop downs you see on websites, all the sliders, and all the stuff that changes color when you click it, those kinds of things. These are all JavaScript behaviors. So that's what we're starting. Any questions with that so far? Cool. All right. So, all right, prepare to become true coders. This is definitely the beginning of it. Like I said, I love JavaScript. I use it absolutely every day. So this is a fun language to learn. It's a fun language to use. So here we go. So this is your brain on JavaScript. What you're going to learn is a bunch of things, right? You're going to learn a bunch of different pieces, a bunch of different types of things like arrays and functions and closure we'll get into and variables and what ES6 and ES5 and unnamed functions. We're going to get into all kinds of crazy stuff. And just like before, you're not always going to know what to use when. And I think that's kind of one of the primary things you guys will run into. It's like, okay, I learned this really cool tool, but when do I know how to apply that? And to that, I could say, I think the best example is just practice, right? Once you learn something, it doesn't mean you automatically know how to use it in every situation, but you'll have that in your back pocket. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I could totally use an array for this, for example. I would suggest taking notes if you have pad and paper or want to use Sublime Text or something, just to write down some notes. Put this in your own words, something that'll make sense to you later. You go, oh yeah, that's right. I got to remember this is how this thing works. For me, taking notes is like I try to just take the real important stuff. You know what I mean? For me, like if I just take all notes, then it would all go away and I'd totally forget about all of it. But this is the first part of the class where really note taking is pretty important. So do your best to kind of track all that. Keep organized. I think most of you are doing a really good job of keeping your like boot camp activities in a folder. Maybe you have your GitLab, or sorry, your GitHub pages.io like in a folder within that, and you kind of get your repos working. Keep practicing that good organization. If you haven't, take the time and do it. Like just take a few minutes, take a few hours, and just get everything kind of organized. And if something doesn't work right and you can't figure it out, reach out to a TA. Like, I don't know, I'm getting this error when I try to push my repo, or something's going on. Don't struggle with it. Just reach out to one of us. That's just a funny quote. I kind of like that Jordan Peterson guy, so I think it's pretty funny. All right. Review immediately. We will be going over the stuff quick, right? So what does that mean? It's kind of like when we go through all these activities today, I don't want you to just forget about them before Saturday. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, try as soon as you can to review all the activities and stuff we go through today. Make it something where you kind of get in a habit of doing that, because that will definitely help you going forward, and kind of just get it into your brain. Like, okay, that's how this works. That's how this works. That's how it works. And that'll definitely help you going forward. We do the exercise in class. That's definitely goes without saying. Get help. The office hours, I know it didn't really work out too great today, but come with any questions you have. Even if you feel like, okay, this isn't pertinent, or even this is kind of a crazy question, the truth is there are no stupid questions. In this world, especially, right, this is really complicated stuff. Not everybody is like made out to be in a developer in this world. So it takes a certain amount of learning and skill and training to be like, okay, I need to figure out what's going on here. Where are the gaps in my knowledge? So any questions that you have, you can always reach out and we can hopefully answer. So don't be afraid. You'll get it. It'll take time. You just got to be patient with it. That's true. I mean, it's nothing that anybody can just pick up and go. Like I would say, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. I've probably been doing JavaScript since I was 12. I mean, I didn't expect anybody just to be like, oh yeah, totally got it, no problem. It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of practice. But I think honestly, I think you guys are going to get it. This class is awesome. You guys are all like really impressing me so far, and I don't think anybody's going to struggle too hard. And if you are, reach out and we'll get you up to speed. Okay, enough of that. All right, so let's do this. I'm supposed to work on partners, but let's do this individually. Yeah, if Nate, you don't mind slacking out that first JS dissect. I think it's 01. I can't see, so I gotta.
Got him.
Sweet, thank you, sir. Perfect. Okay, so what you guys are gonna see in there is a bunch of stuff. So I don't want you to totally understand what's going on and be like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Well, I would just want you to see it. If you could just take, I don't know how long, let's just take like 5 minutes and go through it and just kind of see what's happening. The pet name is Mr. Pants. That is my cat's name, actually. So I did work on this activity. I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to work on your own, and then I'll walk through it a little bit, and then we'll backstep a little bit. All right, I think that's good. Yeah, am I still sharing? I believe I am, yes. Okay. So I'm not supposed to go through this as part of the exercise. It's just a point to kind of get you guys to see it, see what JavaScript looks like for those that have never seen it, and just some real simple stuff. There's nothing here that you've just seen that you're not going to learn how to do by the end of today. In fact, we'll learn arrays on top of this, so quite a bit of stuff. Okay, so good. Cool. So what is JavaScript? Right? It is the third of the three fundamentals. When we're talking about HTML and CSS, I was talking about JavaScript. Even if you're talking about a library that's built on JavaScript. Does anybody know of an example of a JavaScript library?
jQuery.
jQuery, right, and we'll get into that as well. We're going to learn some jQuery in a couple of weeks. So like how this class usually proceeds is we kind of learn a hard way to do things. And I think I was explaining this to somebody last class, but we learn the hard way and then we kind of come back and learn an easier way. Some people prefer jQuery over JavaScript. Thinks it makes things a little simpler to interact with HTML elements and things like that. And I agree, but it is important to learn the fundamentals of JavaScript, right? You got to crawl before you walk, right? Okay, so let's get into the first part of this. Let's learn some stuff. Let's figure this out, right? So we got variables, right? They're the nouns of programming, right? The who's, what's, the where's, the why's, right? The things. The numbers, the strings, the booleans, etc. Okay, they're composed of variable names and values. So you assign a variable by saying var name equals and a string. Our var dwarf count 7, right? Is sleeping. Boolean true. The first example that would be a string. A string is just like a name of something. It's a words that you use to describe things. That doesn't fit a number or a true or a false. So using a string would generally be used in a place of something where it'd be an input or something similar to that, where it wouldn't be a number and it wouldn't be a Boolean. A number is something you would use just as for counting or anything like that. If you put a 7 in quotes, it no longer is treated as a number. So there's a bit of a type mismatch situation going on there. JavaScript doesn't use types, like the variable types. We'll get into that a ton later. I don't want to make things a little bit too complex here. But what happens is they're just assumed. Right? So is sleeping being the variable set to true means that it is. Set is sleeping equals true in quotes would technically also be true, but it wouldn't follow the same type. We'll kind of get into that too in a little bit. It's kind of a good start. Okay. Any questions about this so far? Anybody want to jump out anything? Okay, good. We're just going to keep digging in here. All right. So let me do a little demo here, and I'll show you guys what this looks like. All right. So like I said before, JavaScript can be embedded into the page, just like CSS. Of course, CSS is generally up here in the head. JavaScript can also be in the head. But for the examples today, we're just going to put it in the body. It'll make things easier down the line with some of the stuff that we're going to do. So we're going to just put it in the body. JavaScript can pretty much go anywhere within the body or the head. So this is what it looks like. Script type equals quote text JavaScript. Just means that the MIME type is going to be a text and it's going to be JavaScript. This needs to exist. You'll often see it written like this. That would also work, but best practices say include the type. There was a time where, I don't think there still is, but there's other scripts. There's VB script, which we probably won't even recognize, which was way old school, Microsoft's version of JavaScript. There's other things that you could define, but now it just defaults it, say, oh, obviously you're going to be doing this in JavaScript. So, like I said, variables can be described as strings, numbers, booleans, right? Typically, the casing is this. It's what they call camel casing. So if you're using more than one word, you always lowercase the first word, uppercase the second word, uppercase any following words. So is sleeping now would be a capital N. It would fit is sleeping now. So it's called camel casing. So if you want to take a quick note on that, that's what that looks like. So it wouldn't be incorrect for me to say, where living, so, yeah. Castle. But syntactically, this uppercase has another place in JavaScript. We're going to get into classes and constructors and some really complicated stuff later on where actually you look for things to be capitalized. So we're not going to get into that quite yet. So camel casing just for simple variables. Always lowercase, second words always uppercase, and following words are always uppercase. Any questions about that so far? Anybody want to jump out? Anything? Is it camel or camel? Oh, camel, like a camel's hump. Like a camel's hump. Camel. All right, so.
Chris, can you talk a little bit more about classes, or are we going to cover that later?
Definitely cover it later. Yeah, this is just going to get into just the basics.
Okay, cool.
Definitely get into classes. Definitely get into functions and methods, those kinds of things.
Sweet.
Constructors, that's where the class piece kind of comes into it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun. It makes everything easier. But we got to learn the hard way first. So good question, Robert. Okay, so how about you guys do a variable activity? Let me take a look at what this is for you guys. Oh, it's pizza variables. Nate, do you mind slacking this one out quick? So using the instructions in the file, that should be being slacked out. Oh gosh, yeah, that's a good question, Peter. That's right. Characters, just characters, generally used in camel casing or variable names. You don't want to mix up letters and dashes or anything like that. Just try to use letters to describe the variable and try to describe it the best you can. So another developer will look at it and know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so, oh, are we there yet? Maybe we're not there yet. Oh, I think it's, which one is this? Yeah, we didn't get into that yet. Okay. Before we get into that, sorry guys, I'll let you do it, but I want to show one piece because we're going to get into console logging next. But in order for you to see what's going on, as part of the activity, you have to know what that is. So this is Console.log. What this does is displays something on the browser. Does anybody know where?
The developer tools?
That's right, the developer tools. So if I was to open this up, do that quick. The space here. Okay, we don't see it. I put console.log. There's nothing on this page, right? It's just there. But if I open up my console.log, it's Option Command I for a Mac, or you could just go down More Tools, Developer Tools. I think we've all been doing that. Okay, and there it is. Not there. See, I grabbed the wrong file. One second, guys. Yes. Okay. Huh. Okay. So in the console log, you can see it outputted castle. So when you're in here, we usually are in elements where we can see all the DOM that's written, the code that we see. We can also see all of our CSS stuff that we've been working with. Now, if we swip over to console, we'll actually see whatever's out in the console log. So take a quick note. It's console log and then a variable. And we'll get into console log in a little bit, but and how this works and what else you can put in here. But for now, as part of the instructions, I believe are just look at the rest of the code and try to figure out why it's displayed. This is the wrong one. Hi, this is so hard. Come on. Yeah, it should be pizza variables. Oh, okay, this one's got alerts. Crap. Okay. I read the wrong readme, didn't I, guys? Thanks for thanks for jumping in on me on that one. Okay, yeah, that was the wrong readme. So let's see. What did you select out there, Nate?
I select out number 3, pizza variables.
Oh no, pizza count is not defined. There's an error on it.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no, how did that happen? Okay, let's do this. Everybody, we're gonna get our first little crash course in debugging something. Let's put on line 23, everybody into that file, and we'll go pizza count. Notice it's lowercase, camel cased. And let's just put in a 1, put in a number. So we're defining pizza count. Oh, that's it. So, gosh dang it, that's part of the instructions, everybody. It's not supposed to work until you do it. Gosh dang it. Okay, you're going to create 3 variables, one called name, one called pizza count, and one called is hungry. Okay, the name variable should be set in name. The pizza count, I was like, well, that doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. You guys have to make it work. Okay, so you got a name variable, a pizza count variable, and an is hungry variable. Okay, so the name variable, set it to your name. Pizza count, set it to and a number. Is hungry, set it to true or false. We want it to actually be true or false. We'll set that to a Boolean, so that won't go in quotes. Gosh, I wish I could read everybody's right now. Is everybody with me? Yes? All right, I will give you 10 minutes, well, 8 minutes to work on that activity. All right. All right. Welcome back, guys. So hopefully everybody's doing okay. Reach out to Slack if something's not working right or whatever. Cool. And I grabbed myself some espresso. So next time someone says, "Hey, this activity doesn't work," before you did anything, then I'll be ready for it. Thanks, Peter. All right, so let's take a quick look. Oh, somebody asked what a class was. Just to elaborate. In ES6, this part that we're going to learn next is JavaScript came out with classes, which work like constructors. It's really nothing that we're going to get into yet. We're going to get into functions and methods soon with JavaScript. And that's kind of where that enters into things. So don't worry too much about it right now. It's just a way to make your code a little cleaner, a little more reusable, and a lot more efficient. You'll find yourself using constructors a lot more and more as time goes on. So don't worry about it too much right now. But let's focus on this exercise. So let's just do it real quick. So we're going to do a variable called name. All right. Oops, nice. All right, and it'll be Chris. Chris. Hope you guys did that. Notice the semicolons at the end. This was sort of dropped off with ES6 as well, but really good practice to use semicolons, and I hope you guys can all use them. Plus, other languages require them, so just use semicolons. You know, you won't get in trouble if you don't use them. I won't be like give you a ton of crap or anything, but it's just best practice.
Hey, Chris, is there a convention between like double quotes and single quotes when you do like text?
Yeah, so you could definitely use single quotes here. The easiest thing to explain why you would use one or the other is just so you don't have to escape any characters. So I could say something like Chris is, right?
Sure.
And if I use single quotes out here, now I got problems, right?
Right.
Unless I try to escape it, which we won't really get into quite yet. So yeah, it's basically one or the other. You could absolutely whatever you're comfortable with in that case. I think for now I'd stick with double quotes. Just as
Sure.
yeah. Good question though. Really good question. Okay, so we got name, we got pizza count, and we got is hungry. I'll see if anybody can call me out on this. Is this right? Is that right, guys?
Camel case.
Yeah. Well, so let me camel case this real quick. All right. Is that right? Is that right?
Doesn't look right.
Wrong.
Why is that wrong? Tell me what's wrong. It looks so pretty.
Capitalize the H. Capitalize the H.
That's exactly right. That's right. It's the first letter, right? The first letter. Very good. Very good. Yeah. See, you're paying attention. You're not just home watching TV and watching Netflix and ignoring me over here. So yeah. So what we should get is, well, it looks like we're going to get 4 alerts. So let's see how much fun this is going to be. Actually, don't do it that way. I'm sure you guys got this already too, but. One minute. There it is. Oh, okay. That's fun. All right. So we got welcome Chris. Pasha pieces cost $5 each. Total is 30. Still hungry chew. All right. Hopefully you guys all got through that exercise. If you didn't, or you have a bug or something like that, feel free to Slack me or Nathan, and we can hack through it. So if you're having the problem, it's potentially possible. It's possible that someone else is having the same bug. So let's continue on. So that's it. Just to recap, we're defining variables using strings. Does anyone want to tell me what this is called? an integer or
Number?
number. Yeah. And this is a
Boolean.
A Boolean. Yeah, Boolean. Yeah. So good question, Angela. I'm glad you asked. No, so you don't actually put the variable name itself in quotes, right? I know it's a little tricky. It's a little weird feeling, but we're actually assigning it. So we're assigning this variable to a string. Even if a variable was ABC, and I don't want to confuse you here, but DEF, right? The variable itself doesn't need to be in quotes. Oh, it's true, false. Yes, very good question. So this is considered a number now that it's not in quotes. This actually should, or maybe, I'm not sure if it'll break me or not. Let's see if JavaScript's smart enough to pick that up. Chris? Yeah, it did, picked it up. Yeah, so it's really loose with definitions as far as variables go. But when you're using numbers, you want to leave off the quotes. Basically telling the computer that this is a number. True is the same thing. When we get into if comparisons, like if else, you'll see this true will mean something very different than this true. And that'll get a little confusing, but we have time to get through it. So yeah, just keep in mind we have three different things here. We have the strings, right, that are in quotes, right? The integers, right? Or integers. Nice, Chris. Ints, that don't spell. Numbers, okay? Write nothing on there. Integers. Anyone want to help me out with that one?
There's no R after the E.
Integer.
Yeah, that looks right. Is it? Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Hey. It's a group effort. Integers, numbers, those kinds of things, right? And then, of course, this last one, so space, just make it look pretty, is a Boolean. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for that one. Okay, so Boolean is what? It's a true or a what? True or
False.
false? Thank you, Levi. Yes, that's right. True or not true? Not true would also be false. Yeah, so yeah, this would also be acceptable. Well, this would have the reverse effect, but yeah. So if we're declaring a variable, and we'll get into that when we're doing comparisons of if then. So let's continue on. I don't want to spend too much time on that. We have a lot to get through. Okay, variable assignment. There's the demo. So with that, we have the var keyword, the variable name, the assignment, saying it equals the value, and the termination, the semicolon. All right, the quote. So Snow White being a string, right? If we didn't have Snow White in a string, it would think we're assigning name to another variable, right? Especially if it was all one word. So just putting it Snow White in quotes would assure that we're assigning name to a string called assigned to Snow White. Oh, there it is. All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's jump on. Logs, prints, and alerts. Okay, so I'm going to do a little console demo, and I know I kind of sampled this for you guys already, but I want you to see it again. So up here, I'm assigning some variables to a couple strings, right? And an integer. And then I'm going to console log something. So just like in JavaScript, I can console log out to the browser, right? I can send it to the browser. And for right now, it doesn't seem like there'd be a really good reason for this. Like, why wouldn't we just display it on the screen? But what so happens is when you're working in JavaScript, you may not have something that's displaying to the screen. So you'd have to try to do a document write or create a variable or try to assign it. So the best thing you can do is set it up so you can just console log issues. It's pretty much the primary way of debugging anything within JavaScript.
Chris, are those logs saved like indefinitely on the server, or is it just when it encounters an error?
No, so we're completely 100%, on the client side. So whatever's being sent down to this console is obviously only for you. But if I wanted to clear it, I have this little clear console button right up here. And then get rid of it.
Sure.
So I can totally clear it out. So if I refresh, boom, there they are again. I could refresh again. If I want to preserve my log, I could continue to put them in there.
Sure.
But for all intents and purposes, preserve log is off. So every time it refreshes, it'll be new. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Thanks.
Robert. Awesome. Cool. So as you guys can see, we have teacher, right? Console logging quick. So what? Well, hold on. Let's not cheat. What happens if we console log quick? So we should see teacher. We should see quick. So what am I going to see for quick?
Should see Fox.
Fox. Good, Ben. Yeah, and who else said that? I don't know if that was also Derek. Awesome. Fantastic, guys. Okay, so if I put slow on here, what am I going to see next in the console log?
Should see turtle.
Turtle, right? That's good. Is that Dimitri? Yeah. Fantastic. All right, and the last one, but not least, we're console logging numbers plus 15.
136.
136. And do the math. That's correct. So let's see 136. So it should be teacher, Fox, turtle, 136. Let's refresh it. There it is. Teacher, Fox, turtle, 136. And just to answer a question from prior, this is kind of a tricky one. I don't expect this to make any sense to anybody right this second. But what do you think we'll see for this one now? Yeah, right, Sam. Very good. Yeah. So we're actually joining a string to this number. See? So it's not treating it like a number anymore. It's treating it like a string. It's like, oh, you want to see 121 plus you want to see a 15, right? So that's why we don't use quotes on numbers. So we can't do any kind of calculations. Is everybody with me on that one? Like a virtual power clap? Fantastic. All right. Clap. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's move on. I think you guys got an activity now with console log. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Let me continue on to the slides. Do this the right way. Oh, you do get a console log activity. Sweet. Okay, so console log is a quick expression to use print content as a debugger as well. It's a useful tool. I just went over that, explained it. This is a really horrible joke. I think you guys can tell mine from the curriculum. How do you comfort a JavaScript bug? Anybody know?
Console it.
Console it. Is that Peter? Yeah. Very good. Yes, you console it. So yeah, how do you comfort a JavaScript bug? You console it. It's hilarious. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So using the file sent as a guide, we're going to walk through and do the exact same thing we just did, but pretty much do it in console log. So let's slack out pizza variables 2, if that's there. If not, let's do pizza complex. Let me just look at it this time before I just jump out, start talking about it. Okay, so yeah, same thing as before. As we did, if you want to use your file from before, you totally can, the one where you had your alerts. Otherwise, we're going to download, Nate's going to set up another file if you wanted to start over. But this is the same exact thing. We have the name variable, the pizza count is hungry, total cost. And then we're going to switch all these alerts to something else, to Console.log. All right. Pete, no saying, hey, that didn't show up in the Console.log. All right, before you did anything. All right, so let's see. I'll give you guys just a few minutes with that one. It shouldn't take you too long. Peter, you asked a fantastic question. We will be getting into that as well. Peter asked if there's any way to convert a string into an integer, into a number, and absolutely there is, and we will get into that today as well. So, okay. All right, does anybody want just a couple seconds? They can send in a chat or Slack or whatever. I could give you a couple of minutes with that. That should be pretty. That should have been pretty easy. Yeah. So all we had to do is go through and just go, okay, Console.log, whatever it is. Welcome, Joe Frazier. I'm just going to go ahead and well, yeah. Good. All right. So that's all we had to do is instead of having those alerts pop up at the screen, we're just going to have those show up in the console log. So yeah, so I didn't get any alerts, but hopefully in the dev tools, I got all my console logs. Did anybody have any trouble with that or get stumped with something? You could definitely take a second and take a look at it. All good? This is 5. I can just pretend I can see you guys. All right. 5. Thanks, guys. Fist. Does that mean you didn't get it at all, Peter, or does that mean like fist of 5? 5. Got it. Okay, 5. Good. Good. Thanks, guys, for jumping in. Fantastic. Yeah, use the chat window. That's really helpful. At least I feel like I'm interacting a little better with you guys. So it's super helpful. Awesome. All right. Just to touch on this, when we get into ES6, there are going to be different things in var where you're going to learn let and we're going to learn const. Just for now, for these purposes, we're using vars. So if you see either one of those anywhere else, that is something we'll get into. But for now, just vars. OK. Let's continue on. Well, it says we do a break now. So if you guys want to do a break, we can. Or we can tough it out. Let's tough it out. Let's keep going. We'll get through this next section. Well, I'll let you guys vote. Toughen out? Keep it coming? Good. You guys on board? I need to take the dog out? OK. Well, hold on. Angela needs to take the dog out. Angela, how we give you Angela will give you like 5 minutes to take the dog out. Is that enough? Because we'll take a break at like 25 minutes, if that works. Is that good? I won't jump ahead too fast. I'll talk about other stuff. But yeah, it's cold out. It's really cold out. All right, Angela, if you've taken off, I'll give you a second to come back. Or okay, I'll let you guys talk about dogs in the chat for a little while. We good. Oh gosh. Okay, I'll get involved in that conversation. So okay, so we have the we've gone over alerts, we've gone over console logs, and that's all we've gone into so far. So you can imagine there's other ways to interact with a web page using JavaScript. Yeah, keep in mind Java is very, very different than JavaScript. We'll also get into Java towards the end of the class as well, which is kind of fun. It's fun to learn Java after learning JavaScript because like, oh, they kind of had a different way of doing this, or they simplified this in JavaScript, or they made this not possible in JavaScript. So that'll be something fun to kind of get into once we do that. Let's see, anything else fun we could do that without going ahead too far? Any questions?
Chris, can you explain what a console is just by itself?
Oh, sure. Do you mean just a console?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this gives me an opportunity to interact with JavaScript even on itself, right? So if I wanted to do something like, Nate, do you want to show some fun examples? I don't have any examples queued up really, but you could say like, if you wanted to display a variable, I could go ahead and put it here and I could see what it is. So the console log allows me to interact. It's kind of like an extension of my script, if that makes sense. Anything that I put in there, I could totally interact with in here. I could say, OK, total cost times whatever, and I'd get my results. So do you want me to elaborate more, Nathan, or do you think that's pretty helpful?
Yeah, so just bear in mind, yeah, when you're in the Chrome DevTools, you can pretty much just do whatever in your console, like the variables that you had created, you can access them, you can manipulate them sort of virtually just in that window. So that can be very useful. Another hot tip, if you're using DevTools and you use the pointer to like poke at an element, you can come over into the console and just type $, and then that element will be output in the console. So.
Right. That kind of gets into jQuery a little bit, but yeah, is that what you mean? The actual choosing of the elements, or?
Yeah. So like, if you, I don't think this particular page has any elements to speak of, but yeah, if you just have like a p tag or something like that.
Sure, I'll create something. Oh, but you're still talking about using jQuery to interact with it, right?
Well, I believe, so yeah, if you queued that back up, refresh this page. I think this was the one you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you use the pointer up on the top left of the DevTools, poke at that.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then, excuse me, come back over to the elements. So we poke at that. So right there under body, it says that equals, it's a $0. So that means that when you've poked at that, if you come into the console, come back over to the console now, do $0, enter, oops. And then that's that element you poked at and had interacted with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something I've used before. That's interesting.
Hot tips.
Yeah, hot tips. Hot tips by Nathan. That's pretty slick. Yeah, I don't know. It seems that seems pretty cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, there it is. Huh. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run. I think, Angela, I don't know if you're back yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. Let's do it. Okay, so alerts, which we've already learned, prompts, and confirms, right? Let's go over these quick. I'll go with slides and then I'll cover the example. So alerts, confirms, and prompts will prop up a pop-up box. So we already saw that with the alerts, right? We didn't have a choice when we set up an alert. We got the actual response. Well, you know what? I don't really like doing it that way. Let's just do it. Okay. Okay, so we have a confirmation box is essentially all that is, right? A confirmation box is basically the yes, and I believe it's cancel. Let's look at the file first. We'll just run through it. Okay, so this is our first example. This would be a confirm box. So we're just to write this down in your notes, you'll have a confirm, you'll have a prompt, and you'll have alert. Okay, so with the confirmation box, we get a OK or cancel. This essentially sends a true or a false back to the browser. So what does that mean? Is if here I want to assign confirm sushi to a true, right? Remember the Boolean true? Then the answer to this question better be OK. If I want to confirm sushi to be a false, it better be cancel. All right, hope you guys are with me on that. Therefore, this will be false throughout the rest of this procedurally. Okay. All right, so I'll answer OK, which gives me a what, everybody?
True.
What is OK? Who said it?
Robert.
Robert. True?
Yeah, I think so.
That's right, true. True or false. So I'm going to send it a true. Okay, what kind of sushi do you like? Well, this is what a prompt looks like. What kind of sushi do you like? All kinds. Okay, So now, what do you think I'm assigning to sushi type? Anybody?
All
Yep,
kinds.
all kinds.
All kinds, right? It's just a, and what type of variable would that be, do you think?
A string?
A string. Very good. Yeah, very good. Okay, true. You like all kinds of sushi. And what is that? That's just an alert, right? We already know what that works. All right. So continue on. I just want to show you that one more time. So let me just run this one more time. Actually, and we have the console log, so we can actually see our results here. Let's do this. I'm going to refresh it. I'm going to say, no, I don't like sushi, so that'll be a false. None, right? Okay. You like sushi? False. All right. You like non-sushi? I don't know. It's not a lot of, okay. So let's take a look at confirm sushi. What does that look like? Oh, it's false. Oh, okay, that's helpful to know. Okay, sushi type, what did that look like? Oh, it's none. So you kind of see the benefits of using a console. Like I can kind of interact with the answers, kind of troubleshoot through that, debug. You guys have got a chance to work with confirms, prompts, and alerts in just a minute. Okay, so that's what they do. They just bring up a box, right? We get the alert on top, confirmation, the confirm is the second one, basically sending a true or a false. The third one is a prompt that's getting a string or a number. All right, you guys with me on that? And actually, I believe it's a string that you'd have to convert to a number if you're going to do that. We'll learn that in a little bit. Cool. Before I move on, do you guys have any questions about that? Anybody? No? Nothing? Cool. Awesome. Okay, so is this your turn? I can't see it underneath my prompt. Oh, no, don't do that yet. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so let's slack out this next exercise. This will be the alert activity. I'll tell you what, we'll run this up until the break at 8, and then I'll review this after our break. Actually, what I want to do, let's do it this way. Let's do this now, and then when someone has this exercise finished, Slack it to me so I can demo it for the class. If that's not too much to ask. If somebody wants to demo, send their demo. Whatever they created to me. So cool. Thanks, Nate, for sending that. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, okay. All right, power clap. All right, guys, let's come back. It's about 15 minutes, so big virtual power clap. All right, so I had some examples. Let's take a look. Anjana sent one. Let's take a look at Anjana's quick. So let's see. Okay, she did a like coffee variable assigned to confirm. So do you like coffee? Which of course would set this to a Boolean, right? True or false. Oh, and she used a condition here. So if, which we'll get into next, if true, then the prompt will be, well, hey, what kind of coffee do you like? That one would alert you like type coffee. Very good. And then you don't like coffee if the first answer of the confirmation was false. So let's test it out quick. You like coffee? No, not me. You don't like coffee. Awesome, awesome. Let me refresh it. Like coffee? True. Oh, kind of. I have to like all kinds. You like all kinds of, well, all kinds of coffee. Awesome. Nice job, Anjana. Okay, so who is next? Who else sent me one? There's a couple in here, right? Let's see. Ben, I can't copy and paste that one. Let's see. I got a few others in here. Pete, you sent one. Let's take a look at yours. Oh, was that part of the exercise to do? You guys all did confirmations. All right. Let's see. Please confirm what kind of animals you like. If you like animals, oh, I see. You just copied the. Okay, that's awesome. Let's take a look and see if all this works. Boom. Please confirm that you like animals. Oh, okay, yeah, I like animals. Okay. All kinds. You like all kinds. Awesome. Yeah, good job, Pete. Let's see who else sent one in. Anybody? Sam, I think you went in first, actually, a long time ago. Let's see what you did. Let's get rid of these. Oh, these are comments, by the way, guys. 2 slashes and comments. This won't show up anywhere. This is just for developers to talk to each other. If you're trying to explain what something does, or if it looks really complicated, it's a good idea to comment as much as possible. So I might say something like, do you like movies? This will return a true or false. So that'd be an example of a comment. Movie type, okay. This will assign movie type to movie type. All right, so comments are super helpful just to kind of understand what's going on in code. And it is a good way to communicate to other developers. So let's take a look at Sam's quick. Refresh. Do you like movies? No. What type of movies? We didn't do a condition, but that's okay. So let's do, I don't think it was part of the exercise anyway. All kinds. Like my creative answers, guys? False. All kinds. So we returned the false from the first one, and then we returned the prompt from the second one. Did anybody put theirs up that they want to share? Anybody else? I'll look in the chat. Anybody else send something in? No? Okay. Those are good. Those are good examples. Let's see. Any other questions before we continue on? Anybody got anything? Okay. Let's do it. Let's continue on. Awesome. Oh, let's swap these. That's really weird. I don't want you guys to look at the presentation beforehand. That's kind of weird. How do we swap? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's get into document write. So this is the first time we're going to do something that's going to write to HTML page. So this isn't something that you see typically a lot because there's a better way to do this, but the fundamentals are really, really important. So we're gonna learn how this works and be able to use it. And if you ever come across it, then you'll understand what it's doing. But let's talk about it quick. So we can use JavaScript to directly write to the HTML page itself using document write. This is exactly what it looks like. Document.write whatever it wants to be. Do you think I could put in a variable in a document write? Anybody? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, 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 for sure. You can concatenate anything you want to in there. It'll just put it wherever it happens to be. Okay. So later we will go over much more advanced approaches to writing HTML using JavaScript and jQuery, but this is the most fundamental document write. So we'll get into how this works. Ooh, man, I'm not ready to skip ahead that fast yet. So let me just do a quick little. Let me do a quick document write sample. So let me take the fiddle that I'm creating here. All right. So my document write could be included with anything, right? I could do hi there. Okay, and this is just going to go on the top of the body. Of course, I could put this inside a div. All right, so hopefully you guys are kind of going, oh, okay. Let's see what's going on, right? Let's be fancy and do an inline style. Color it red. Make the font size something crazy. Well, that's not too crazy. Let's do it. And that's good. Ooh. So hopefully you guys are starting to go, oh, that's kind of interesting. Some of you are going, well, why wouldn't I just write hi there? So let's do this. Let's do number of pizzas, 10. Let's do cost of, let's do it this way. Cost of pizzas, 5. Okay. So I could say something like, hi there. Let's see, pay attention to the catenation here. Oops. Number of pizzas will, oops, space will be, this is a cool part. Number of pizzas times cost of pizzas. And let's put a $sign right there. All right, so what do you think I'm going to get here? Who wants to tell me?
Should get either your 5 pizzas will be $50.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So you can see I'm able to actually concatenate all of this in. Now, of course, if I'm doing this, you could use parentheses around it just to make it look a little better. Plus, you're guaranteeing it's going to handle these first, but just for best practice. That's it. Hi there. You're 10. Oops, got the label. Did anybody catch that? I hope somebody got that. Okay. Hi, your 10 pizzas. Let's do this again. Hi there. Your 10 pizzas will be $50. So you see, even with this, I was able to kind of incorporate both HTML and good, David. Oh, you got it too. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are paying attention. Right? Yeah. So I would have, yeah. Obviously, mess up that way pretty easily. But yeah, so this is how one way you could integrate your HTML with JavaScript. There's definitely more preferred methods of doing it, but this is good for now. So that's how document write works. Any questions on that before I continue? Okay. Should I miss anything there? Okay. Not here. Good. Thanks, guys. Yeah, contribute as much as you can, please. I like kind of hearing from you guys and knowing what's going on. It's easier to do in person, I guess, than it is over the phone. So, or over the computer. So, okay. So, yeah. So that the document write will show up exactly where you put it within HTML. So obviously, if I wanted to, and I'm sorry if I'm dragging on here a little bit, but if I wanted to create another div, let's do break, another div down here. Let me just get rid of all this. And let me do have a great day. So in order to do this, I'd have to embed, you know, you can integrate, well, you can integrate both with scripts, multiple scripts within it. It's just like this if I wanted to. So obviously, let's say number of pizzas, and then let's say have a great day. Sorry if I'm belaboring this a little bit. This is Ash, have a great day. So hopefully that makes sense. You see how you kind of integrate it in here. Now, of course, if I'm going to integrate it, you need to embed your JavaScript like right in there a billion times. That's the disadvantage of using document write, because it's going to happen wherever you put it to the HTML. So, okay, let's continue on. Okay, if-then statements. We'll get a little bit into conditionals. Yeah, let me do that. Let's do that demo. Okay, so as some of you kind of picked up, you're able to use the confirmations and use the variables that you've assigned to kind of have serve different purposes. So if I did assign confirm sushi to true or false, I can use it later. And essentially, this would be the same as that. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Because if confirm sushi was true, this would be true. If I canceled the do you like sushi, it would be false. So confirm for sushi is one of those two things. In this case, this is just a Boolean. All right, hopefully you guys are with me. We'll continue on. Okay. If I said confirm sushi, obviously the sushi type that I asked for here would show up. So that's not what we're covering right now. Okay. With an if, there's an else if. So another condition could happen. If this didn't happen, this might have happened. If that didn't happen, this could happen. So what I'm talking about, let me slow down a little bit. If I didn't confirm sushi, so let me just run through the HTML quick. Okay, do you like sushi? Okay. Do you like ginger tea? See if you look, see what I'm going down? I'm right here. I'm right here. Do you like ginger tea? Okay, yeah. What kind of sushi do you like? California. I'm not a sushi. Yeah, California roll. Okay, you like California roll. All right. So what happened? So first it said this, do you like sushi? Ask me if I like ginger tea, and then ask me what kind of sushi do I like. If the user said they like sushi as true, then it would have said whatever sushi type I liked. Okay? This would be the same as saying this, and I'm sorry, this is just shorthand, so I just wanted to confirm this. We will get into the differences between this, and this next, but I just wanted you to see it quick. So me saying confirm sushi true would be equal to true is the same as me basically saying true, or in this case, confirm sushi. Does that make sense to everybody? I want to make sure it resonates. Just a 5, and somebody put in like a 3 or a 4 if you want me to cover that piece of it a little bit better. Okay.
Hey, how does it know that that variable is confirm sushi and not confirm ginger tea?
Okay, so this result, right? The result of confirm sushi, whatever this happens to be, the only thing being analyzed at this point. So this variable is being signed. Do you like sushi? I said yes. So that's what happened. If I would have said no, this would have happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it's just like it's taking off the first variable that you put in is what it's confusing me is like, why is it not taking off the confirm ginger tea and
Right.
just the confirm sushi?
Well, these are, oh, okay, yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, let me get to that. So if would have said false here, right? So let's go through this again. I'm gonna refresh it. This time I'm gonna say false. It's still gonna ask me the same 3 questions no matter what the results are. So we're always gonna get these 2 confirmations in the prompt, right? So the first one's gonna say confirm. Okay, I said no, so that was a false. This time I said true, ginger tea. Like I said, it's going to ask me those 3 things no matter if I like sushi or not. So I'm going to say none. This time it's going to say, you like ginger tea. So what happened is the first thing said false. Well, let me write it like this. It said false. And then it said, well, else, right? Else, meaning if you didn't like that, did you like this? It's saying if this, else if this, or else this. And these are 3 different things. Well, we did. Remember, this one was true. So this was the alert we got. Okay. So there's 3 different conditions that can happen here. Well, technically 2, right? There's the confirm sushi. If I said true here, we'd get this. If I said false here, it would say, oh, okay, you said no, what else do we have? Oh, else if. Did you say false here for this one? Did I say false here or true here? If I said true here, go ahead and alert this. I didn't say false here, or I didn't say true here, this is false. What do you think happens? Anybody? What if
Goes to
this is
else.
false? It goes to else, right? So if this condition isn't met and this condition isn't met, it's going to just show you that else. So in this case, if I said false, if I said canceled both of these first 2 questions, we'd get this. You don't like sushi or ginger tea. Let's try it out quick. Okay, so do you like sushi? Nah, false, right? Do you like ginger tea? False. What kind of sushi do you like? Remember, all these questions are still being asked up here in this order. None, right? You don't like sushi or ginger tea. And what did it do? It wrote it right into the HTML page. Okay, so this is how a condition works. Now, let me comment these out for a second. I want to go over something else real quick while I'm here. If I just said this, let me just get rid of this for a second. If I just said confirm sushi, right? And if I just said sushi, let me get rid of, I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Let me do it this way. Okay. There's other things I can do, but I won't make this confusing. What happens if this is a true? Right? We get the alert, right? What happens if this is anything other than true, which in our case is a false? What happens? Okay.
Well, it'll write out you don't like sushi.
Yeah,
That's right.
It'll jump to the next one, yeah.
That's right. It does the else. So it's literally, these are all working together. Now, I know the else if kind of throws in a little bit of a loop, but this is the most basic part of understanding. It's either this or it's this in this. So by me, let me try this again. So I just have, do you like sushi? Yes. What kind? All. You don't like sushi. Why? Oh, I put false in here. Oops. Nobody called me on that? Really? I know it. Let me try it again. Okay. Do you like sushi? True. What kind of sushi? All. Boom. You like all. Sorry. We'll feel better. Okay, try that again. Okay, do you like sushi? True. What kind of sushi do you like? All. You like all sushi. All right, so that would give us a condition. If I said false, it would just meet whatever the condition there was. You don't like sushi. So what we're doing that kind of complicates this a little bit is the fact we have now another condition here. The other condition is, sorry. Okay, the other condition is this. It's saying, okay, if this. Is that it? No. Then go to the next one. Else, if this. Basically, it's like saying, okay, otherwise, what about this? Say, okay, that's false. Then go to this. Okay. How are you guys feeling on this? Anybody like a 3 or a 4?
Chris, this is Christian.
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question here? So as we go through these variables at the top, the questions, is there a way to, so is there a way to like say the false, do you like sushi? No, cancel, and make it skip the other questions and go straight to the other, straight to the end?
I know exactly what you're saying, and of course. So let's do it this way. What if I said, let's move sushi type, let's move this variable down here. Right? So let's take a look. Do you like sushi? Do you like ginger tea? Right? It says, oh, what kind of, if true, then let's prompt another question. What kind of sushi do you like? If you said false here, you'd never get here. Right? You would never get to this. You'd never get to this other prompt. So let's take a look. So I'll say, do you like sushi? Cancel. Do you like ginger tea? Sure. Like ginger tea. We didn't even get the other prompt, so let's try it again. Do you like sushi? True. Do you like ginger tea? Yes. Oh, what kind of sushi do you like? So what happened? It said true, and then it prompted me for another question. Does that make sense? It only prompted me for this if I said true here.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Let's see,
So
Sam.
Chris, so like if you're doing an if and then like a Boolean, are you just automatically assuming the confirmed sushi is always true if you're writing it in an if statement, or?
Yeah, so we'll get a tiny bit into this a little bit later, but yeah, for now, just if it's by itself, it means the same as this.
Okay.
So yeah, in this case, that's what it is. Now, could complicate this a little bit, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same board, on the same page right now. So, but yeah, by me saying that is the same as me saying this. And this will work the exact same way.
Cool.
Yeah, so if I wanted to put in, yeah, we could put in a bunch of if else, right? A bunch of different kind of conditions. What if I wanted to say, let's see, well, I don't want to make this too complicated, but I think you guys should play with this later. Just really explore this space a little bit, try to figure this stuff out. I'll walk through it a little bit. You'll start to see how it all interacts with each other. This is Booleans that we're dealing with, so it gets it's a little easier, right? Because we're just dealing with trues and falses. We could deal with numbers, right? How many? Let's do it this way. I don't want to go down. This is definitely a rabbit hole I could go down with you guys because this could be fun. But let's do this. Let's do a prompt. Sorry. Prompt. How many rolls would you like? Okay. So where am I going to put this? Does this make a good play? Does that make sense for me to put that up there at the top where I'm asking for sushi and ginger tea? Or where do you think would be a good place for me to put this? Anybody know? Everyone jump out.
In an else if.
So I'm asking if the sushi. I'd only want to ask this if they do like sushi.
Oh.
Yeah, right. If they don't want sushi, I don't want to ask it. But no, it's a good. I'm glad you jumped in. So what I would probably do is put it right here. So then I could say something like, okay, they do like sushi. What kind of sushi do you like? How many rolls would you like? And I could say something like, here is your, let's do this. Rolls, oops. Spelling is not my strong suit, guys, if you haven't picked that up yet. Of sushi. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm following, keeping up with everybody. Yeah, so there's only going to be one else. This will be your catch-all. This will pick up every other condition. You might have code that never reaches this because you've met all your conditions within else ifs. I don't really want to, it's definitely a rabbit hole we could go down, but hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so let me get rid of the ginger tea question for, no, let's keep it. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this just to show you guys what we got here so far. So do you like sushi? Yeah, okay. Like ginger tea? Sure. So look, both these questions are still being asked up here. Sure, I like ginger tea. What kind of sushi do you like? Oh, California. Boom. How many rolls would you like? 6. Here is your 6 rolls of California. Right? So what I was able to do is only ask this question. Well, let me run it again without the question. Okay, so do you like sushi? False. No. Do you like ginger tea? No. I skipped by all this questioning. It didn't even match this because this was a false, and said, okay, you don't like salt, you don't like sushi or ginger tea. How you guys feeling? Anybody less than a 5? You want to throw something in the chat? It's totally okay. And like I said, no questions are dumb questions, so please just ask away. If you're having the question, somebody else is for sure. All right, all 5s, really?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Julia. So it makes sense. I just want to clarify. So the thing that's a little bit weird in the example is that both confirmed sushi and confirmed ginger tea can be true. But
yes.
That first if is winning, I'm guessing. That's the first thing that the condition is met. So then that
yeah.
runs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you always
No, let me I think I know what you're saying. Let's do this. Let's do this. What if I said something, I don't want to throw another thing at you guys here, but let me just throw it at you.
Look at it. Yep.
Okay. So if I wanted to do something like this, this is something we'll get into later. This is basically saying true and true. This could be true and false. This could be true, false and true. But this condition will only be met if this is true and this is true. So break this down in your notes, but we'll definitely be covering that later.
Okay.
So but yeah, that's a good question. Let me run through this real quick. You liked both. All right. So this, of course, will not ask me the question, do you like sushi? So this gets a little bit confused. I don't even get to here, right? If I like both, it's just going to tell me I like both. So if I only like one or the other, then it'll meet these conditions. If I like none of them, it'll meet this condition. Does that make sense?
Yeah, only one condition can be met.
In this case, yes, because we're all part of the same statement.
Yes.
Now, I could start a whole new if statement down here if I wanted to, right?
Yep.
And within these, I could put other if statements. I could net if statements inside there. There's a lot of stuff we can do here, guys. Like I said, it's a huge rabbit hole. But I want to just get the basics done. So, do you like sushi? Yeah, true. Do you like ginger tea? Yeah. Done. It met this condition and didn't even bother me with the rest of it. So if I said, do you like sushi? Okay. Do you like ginger tea? What do you guys think it's going to do?
It's gonna ask what kind of sushi you want.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Right?
Right.
It's a lot of roles of SDFE. Perfect. So let me refresh it. Do you like sushi? No. Do you like ginger tea? Okay, you like ginger tea. Now let me ask you this question. If I said false and false, what do I get? Oh, all right. So neither of those conditions are met. Giving you guys a chance. I can see my scorecard now. Yeah, he doesn't engage at all. Like he asks a question and just does it. Okay. Let's see. We're starting. Oh, what are you guys talking about? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll definitely be getting into that stuff.
Okay, I got a quick question. Can you? Is there some way to change the confirm prompt? Can you change that from cancel okay to like yes or no?
Yeah, these ones are just the basic ones that come with JavaScript.
Okay.
Down the line, we're going to be doing more with boxes and prompts, and we'll see Bootstrap actually comes into handy with that part of it too. We can make our own prompt boxes and do some things with that. But at this point in basic JavaScript, this is called vanilla. So if you ever see that on a job board or anything, just VanillaJS, this is just vanilla. There's nothing fancy about it. There's no libraries, none of that. But we definitely will get into that. These ones are not customizable.
Okay.
Good. That's a fantastic question. Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like a lot. Like you'd want this to be like, hey, give me some options here. But yeah, we really don't get it with these. Good question, Levi. Anybody else? Anybody before with the if else statements? We can walk through these. Anybody? A 3 or 4? 5. Nice. All right. I feel like some of you are interacting better than others. That's totally fine, I guess. But I'd like to hear from all of you. Like the rest of you just watching Netflix. I know it. ID. You guys are watching that. ID Discovery. All right. Let's see. Let's continue on. Okay, that was supposed to take 3 minutes. So continue. That's fun. Okay. Let me skip back. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Okay. Okay. I did not cover this, but I did want to show you guys, if you didn't catch on, this is wrapped in a curly bracket. So all the things that are inside of this are part of this particular condition. This is part of this. So what we have here is if something in parentheses, right? There could be nest, but it's always going to be parentheses, opening and closing parentheses with a condition, and the actual response will be in curly brackets. When we get into ES6, we can actually leave those off, but do not do that now. Now we're going to keep it nice and simple and just use curly brackets. In fact, a lot of developers hate it when you do shorthand stuff like that, so they'll actually go back in and add curly brackets in. So let's stick with these for now. Cool. Nice. Okay, so I think you guys get a chance here. Let me see. Is this your turn? Yes, it is. You guys get to do stuff. You don't have to listen to me talk again. Let's check out that number 10, conditional activity 2. And I'll take a look at that with you guys to make sure it's the right thing and everything.
Oh, Yo, Chris said number 9.
Is it 9?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, sorry. Thanks, man. So yeah, we're 9. Why do I have 10 here? Yeah, thanks for checking on that. Okay, so yeah, this is it. We're gonna create a website from scratch. Feel free to use one of the templates that we already had. You're gonna ask users if they eat steak. If they respond with yes. Do you guys want me to send out that code that I just had with that? Would that help?
Yeah, I would.
All right. Let me do that. Let me send out my little fiddle here. Oh, that's not my fiddle. Where did I put that?
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me. If someone can tell me where it is, that would be even. I was having too much fun. I totally lost my way. Oh, there it is. Okay, this has got this. It's a little more than we'll need, but I'll slack it out to you guys. And you use this as a starting point too. Oh man, a lot of you guys sent in stuff. I'm sorry, I missed the main. I missed the main thread. Oh, sorry. Thanks guys for contributing. I really appreciate it, Derek and Levi. Sorry, I missed those. All right. Simple. All right, cool. Yeah. Let me know if you have any problem with that. That'll give you a good place to start at least. So yeah, let me go through that code. I just want to make sure everything makes sense. Okay, so yeah, if they respond with yes, write the following to a page. So hopefully you guys are reading closely directions. This says it's actually going to do writing to the page. If respond with no, write the following to the page. Ooh, and there's a bonus in here. A bonus. So this will be a lot easier than the example I just did for you guys. So this is going to be, you're not going to use everything that in the sample that I put in the Slack, but hopefully you guys can figure these out. I bet all of you guys could do this. The bonus too. Okay, I'll leave you. Good luck. If you want to Slack me directly, if you guys want to use your example, I'll go over a couple examples too. Cool. How much time do I want to give you? Oh, it's already getting late. Yeah. Okay. 10 minutes. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Guys, real quick, if you're stuck or your code's not working, feel free to send it to me or to Nate. We'll help help troubleshoot for you. So feel free just to send that along. All right, only a couple of you shared some examples, so if you have something done, I'd love to be able to share it for everybody. I'll just get started in about 2 minutes. All right, guys, does anybody need just a couple more minutes? Anybody? It's okay if you do, just Slack something. All right. That's kind of just this quietness. All right. So awesome. Some of you sent in some examples. I think that's just awesome. Just love that. So I can go over stuff, talk about it. Let's do this. So I'm just going to pick out a few examples. I appreciate all that's sent in because I think it really helps kind of, I don't know, just show where you're at and it could be, and also show some creativity. You guys really did some cool stuff. So let me share my screen again. That would be helpful. Right. Right, that's the wrong example. Okay, so Jana, I believe you sent this one in. This is awesome. So I'm going to just kind of run through this quick. Let's see, we did the confirm stake. So we should have got a, you know, okay or cancel. This would have gave us true or false here. If true, here's a steak sandwich would be written to the page. Else, here's a tofu stir fry. Fantastic. That's done. Okay. That'll happen to the page. Then we get this. What is your birth year? Confirm Saki. I gotta check how might have I wrote this differently? Does anybody want to tell me?
Age.
That would be one way to do it. What else could I have done different with this variable?
Lowercase c.
I missed a camel case.
Yes, that's right. That's very good. I mean, it's perfectly fine, and it would have worked great. Just kind of getting the best practices, right? So I might have probably camel case that. That would be the only thing wrong there. Okay, then the really creative and said 2019, and you parse int. I love it. What this does is convert a string into a number, and somebody asked that earlier. Can we make that transition? Yes. So this comes in as a string, as something like, 1990, and it goes, well, that's not going to work. So what it does, parse int will actually turn 1990. Oops, do it this way, into 1990 as an actual integer. So parse int, and that's exactly what I have to do. This is a function that turns a string into a number, if it can. Okay, so we have 2019, parse int birth year, so it would be whatever that was entered, giving us a total year, giving us an age, sorry. If it's less than 21, no Saki. Perfect. Let's run through it quick, just make sure it's all good. I trust your work. I trust your work. Let's see. Do you say, yeah, what's your birth year? I don't know. Something like, yeah. Here's a steak sandwich. I thought I could something else. Did I not pull the right example here? Let's say, okay, let me try this again. Oops. Stop yelling. Okay, do you like steak? Okay, what is your birth year? Steak sandwich. Trying to think what might have happened here. Let me try this again.
Maybe we can decrease the age, like let's do 2000. That isn't less than 21, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You
Oh,
gotta do like.
Hey.
Math.
Great. It's working. Math is hard. Okay. Math is really hard. Okay, I'm a year old. I'm trying to get Saki. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so how could have I prevented that? Just for people like me that don't know math, you could have put, right, we could have been like, lots of sake for you, right? Of course, if I was 21, that condition would not be met either, but all right, we'll talk about that. Let's look at a couple more examples. We only have so much time, and I gotta get through arrays. So let me just get through one more example. Does anybody have any questions on this piece of it while I'm in here? Anybody? Okay, cool. Julia, thank you for sending this. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so you did this. Here's a steak sandwich. Here's a tofu stir fry. But you're born, did the exact same thing. And then, okay, so yeah, so this is what I want to see. So if you do parentheses, obviously it's going to handle those parentheses first, just like, you know, algebra 1, right? So if you have the parentheses, it'll handle that first. So I do like to see this. 219 minus sake age. Okay, so that would give us the same thing. No sake you, otherwise drink up. Perfectly executed. Nice done. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's it. I guess there's a ton of awesome examples. I appreciate you guys all sending them, but we gotta skip to the next part. Is anybody like a 4 or 3 on how that works?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure, please.
This is Vanessa. So do you always have to end? I know you said else is like the catch-all. Do you always have to end in the else, even if you don't possibly get to that?
Not at all. Not at all. No, it's a catch-all just because it's kind of a best practice thing, right?
Okay.
If this happens, nothing happens. Well, that's okay too. But generally, you'd want to see something else happen, right? Like even if it's not you know, anything. But you know, I'll kind of get into a little bit more of that later. I just for now, yeah, you could totally just have that. Absolutely, and that would be totally the right answer.
Got it.
In fact, if we just wanted to do that, we could do that too. Confirm steak, true, here's a steak sandwich. If you said no, nothing would happen. This prompt would come up. You said no, nothing would happen.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, guys, we only have 10 minutes to get into this. So okay, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna have to kind of whip through this, but that's my fault. I spent too much time with that stuff. So let's do this as a class. And I want to see how well we do. So if I pick out, how do I do this? I want to pick you guys out at random. It's a good way to do this. Let me think through this quick. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna have to resort to, I don't have a chat or anything. That sucks. All right. Unfortunately, if you have interacted with me at all, you're gonna be called on. That's how this game works now. Okay, Pete, what would I see here? If true equals true, would I see the high or the buy?
You'd see high.
That's right, because this equals this exactly. Here's a catchy part. If I would have said this, what do you think I would have seen?
No.
That's
you would
right.
see buy.
But why? Why? Do you know why? You're absolutely
because
right.
one is a Boolean and the other is a string, so they can't be equal.
Yeah, that's very good. So if I would say something like this, would it work?
No.
So I believe this would. So having the third, yeah, having this third
okay.
equals.
No,
Yep.
I don't know the difference between 2 and
That's
3
good.
equal signs.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't. So I'm glad you're right, though. What this does is test not only what it is, or if the type is correct. So we're testing two things here. So saying it's equal would work fine. Using a third equals literally says, yes, it's correct, and the actual type of value it is correct. It's not string versus a Boolean versus a number. It's actually the same type, and it's the same value.
Huh.
So we'll spend a tiny more time with that, a little bit more time with that later. I just want you guys to see it.
And don't forget, single equals, it would be an assignment statement.
Yes. Yes, never this in an if statement. If you did this is a horrible example, but it would assign this to that. So this obviously would cause an error. Does that make sense, guys? Take it down as a note. 1 equals assigns, nothing you'd use in an if statement. 2 equals does a comparison of the values. 3 equals does a comparison of values and the type. All right.
Well, can you repeat that? The last part?
Yeah. The
three
value.
equals?
Yeah. The 3 equals the value and the type. So this would be by. That would not consider the same. That would not be the same thing. This and that would be fine because the values are the same. So 3 equals.
So 2 is evaluating just like the values it return, and 3 is evaluating the type.
Yeah. So let me do this. Let me do about if I said, what is it? Okay, and I said, if what is it is true, then it would also be the same type as the same value. If I said, what is it as true in quotes, this would not work because it's not the same type. So it's the value and the type.
Sure.
Basically. If I did this, it'd be fine. You see a lot of best practice coders using 3. Just it's a little hard to explain at this level, but what we're getting into is basically consistency, right? You would want this to be a Boolean. You don't want this to be a true here as a string, and somewhere else in your code you're like, oh, now it's a false as a Boolean, because somebody just forgot that you were setting it up. You know what I mean? Sure. You want your type to be consistent as best you could. So, okay. So let me keep going quick, guys. So what would this one be? Let me ask Vanessa, since you just reached out. Would it be dude or nope?
Nope.
That's right. Well, false equals false. What do you think it would be?
Are we saying it's dude then? I don't know. I said one.
No, it's fine. I mean, I was waiting for you just to change your answer.
I know.
So right. So false does equal false, right? I mean, yeah, I know it's confusing, but the answer, does false equal false? Sure does, right? False equals false, right?
Okay.
Whatever that condition is. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. I know this stuff gets really weird. I know it's tricky, but I think we'll get through it. Okay. Let's see. Who wants it? All right, how about this one?
Did you say me?
Mm-hmm.
That would be, it would say goats.
That's right. Why?
Because for the value equals 4, but the type does not. The quotes is a string, and 4 on the other side is a value, or
Very
as
good.
an integer.
Awesome answer. Perfect. Irina, how about this one?
Me?
Irina?
Okay, in this case, it shows puppies. Because it is just testing the value type.
That's right.
There's 4 in the both sides, so.
Very good. Awesome. You guys are pros. I don't even need to go through this. Go through these later, play with them, and you get the answers. I got to cover the this, and I know I'm running out of time. So awesome job. I know you guys got it. No problem. Okay, I got to dip into arrays a little bit, and I promise you, I might go through this fast right now, but I will cover this a ton better on Saturday. I won't let you guys, I won't leave you guys hanging, but I want you to play around with this either later tonight or tomorrow to get a lot more in-depth look. Arrays can be one of the more complicated things, but we'll give it a brief overview, and I think you guys will. Okay. Okay, so I don't have to assign a variable to one string, one Boolean, one number. I don't have to do that. I can assign a variable to a lot of different values, right? I can assign zoo animals variable to a zebra, a rhino, a giraffe, and an owl, and they're all part of this variable, right? So there's a way we have to do that. And how do we do that? Well, we have an index, which is basically saying what is the position of that particular thing in that array. So if you look at the example below, it says animals. We assigned it to a zebra. We also assigned it to a rhino. We assigned it to a giraffe. We assigned it to an owl. That's our array. That's how the variable. So write this down as your notes. You're going to want to remember this. This is what an array looks like. The zebra in this case is assigned 0. So if I wanted to reach back to zoo animals and get zebra, let me see if there's a sweet. There it is. I don't want you guys to see any of this yet. Okay. If I wanted to reach out to zebra and see what that looked like, I would pull off the first index. Now, arrays start with 0. One of my favorite little memes is coming up on the slide. I'll show you guys right now because it's really fun. And we have just so much time to waste. All right. Real programmers count from 0. What does that mean? It means that when we're dealing with an array, we always count from 0. Zoo animals 0 is pointing to the first index in this array. Right? You guys with me on that? If I wanted zoo animals rhino, it'd be 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Owl. Did I say rhino? I meant owl. If I wanted rhino, it would be 1. Giraffe would be 2. So just like we used to do, right? So if I said, okay, so if I said something like zoo, let me do it like this. Zoo animal is equal to tiger. Same thing as before, right? Zoo animal is equal to tiger. Well, I want to send a bunch. So if I wanted to set a bunch of different strings or a bunch of different values to this array, that's how you do it. You bracket and comma delimit all the different values. So yeah, please remember how this piece of this works. Oh, nice tabs. Okay. Does that make sense so far that we can just assign multiple things to an array? You guys with me on that?
Yep.
Yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. Let me continue on. Okay. Just as a quick power, what out, let's see, who am I thinking? I gotta, and Jana, if I wanted to get, and John, if I wanted to get the giraffe, how would I call that?
Okay, it's the zoo animal and bracket 2.
That's right. Very good. Awesome. That'd be exactly right.
Do you have to specify the data type for an array? Or can you put any, like you can put a jumble of whatever you want in there?
Oh, yes. Actually, we're going to get into that in 1 second. Yes. Let me skip ahead. Okay. So these are collections, right? So they're known as collections. They can be made up of strings, numbers, Booleans, other arrays, objects, anything can be put into an array. Even other arrays can be put into arrays. So that part can get a little confusing, but I want to make sure we understand the basics. The Nick characters with Tommy, Doug, Oblina. I don't remember what show that is. Put a boolean. Dice numbers. Look at, we can also do numbers, right? We can also put numbers in an array. We can also mix an array. Do you guys think I could put a boolean in an array?
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
confident. Absolutely. You can absolutely put a boolean in an array. So you might be wondering, okay, how does this work? Why would I use this? This doesn't make any sense to me. And remember when we went over this at the beginning, I was like, hey, oh shit, oh shoot, sorry. I'm over. I hope you guys, you guys okay? We're like 3 more minutes. I just want to be able to get through this real quick. You guys good at that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. A lot of this stuff will come to you. It's going to take some practice, but how it's being used will definitely, there's a time and place for arrays. I can't do a demo, don't have the time. Let me go through this. So asking for specific zoo animals, just like you see before, is exactly what was said, right? Zoo animal 1 would give us rhino. Zoo animals 4. Is there a zoo animals 4?
No.
Right? 0, 1, 2, 3. There's none. It'd be undefined. It wouldn't be there. Another really cool thing that we can do with arrays is get the length of array. We can find out how many different items are in the collection. So I want to find out how many animals are in my zoo animals array. I could say zoo animals dot length, and it'll return 4 items. Remember, the count is 0, 1, 2, 3, but there's actually 4 items in there. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yep.
Cool. Great. Let me hack through this real quick. Okay. Okay. Let me just do this real quick as a class, and then I'll send all these activities with you. Of course, we'll be able to do this all on our own. But let me just why don't we just have people randomly call out? And please, if you haven't been involved yet today, just entertain me for a minute. Okay. Somebody tell me what this would be. 3?
3.
3. Thank you. Very good. Nice job, everyone. Okay, what would this be?
Cat.
Cat.
Cat. Yeah, very good. Okay, it's the first position. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index. Okay, so what's 2?
Dog.
Dog.
Dog. Very good, guys. What's 0?
Parrot.
Parrot. Oh, trick question. What's 3?
Nothing.
Undefined.
Undefined.
Undefined. Very good. Ooh, this one gets real tricky.
The last dog.
Undefined.
Undefined.
Yeah, undefined.
Undefined.
Yeah, but whoever said last dog, you're thinking correctly, right? Because you're like, oh well, it's the length of it, right? Except it's really length would be technically the index of that last. Oh, sorry, the example below does that exactly. Okay, so what would this one be?
Dog.
Dog, right? It's the last one. I think you guys are all getting it. I hope so. It might be just 3 of you that are totally with me, and the rest of you are like, I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so this is a cool one. Now we have an index of. This will actually return the position or the index of where this particular value is in my array. Hopefully you guys are with me with that. So if I wanted the index of bear, what would it be?
Undefined.
There's no bear in here. What about parrot?
0.
So we return 0. So you guys might not know exactly how this plays into everything, but right now it's really important to understand the fundamental. This is how we define an array. This is how we find out the length of an array. This is how we pull out a single value in an array. And this is how we find out the index of a value in an array. All right, is anybody less than a 4 on this one? I'll go over this again on Saturday. Nobody? Awesome, man. I had fun. I know we didn't get to do it like together, but I still had fun doing it remotely. I hope you guys do. If you have any questions, do you want to kind of stay after and play around with some stuff? I'll be here. And Nate will stick around. Whatever, we can hack those out. So anyway, big power clap. And thanks. And I'll see you guys on. It's all over the place. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right.
Thanks,
See you guys.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
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 Hey, Chris, I had a quick question.
Yeah, Brian, what's up?
This is going a few days back. Just a slight review on how to make your repository like an actual I/O website.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Let me go back to sharing my screen. So, yeah, go ahead.
So you make the repository. Or repository is going to be your username / repository name / IO, right?
Yeah, I think I'm following you. Let me bring up my screen again here.
Yeah, because I think when I tried it, it tried to put it in my existing IO. I